Who was Etan Patz?
The prosecution called one of the city's oldest and most painful unsolved crimes.
Saw that face and, you could imagine how awful it is for that family. Kids don't play outside. Parents keep an eagle eye on them.
Walked off to school and disappeared forever. It triggered a new awareness of Etan Patz.
On the morning of May 25, 1979, 6-year-old Etan Patz left his New York City apartment to catch the school bus for the first time on his own. His family lived in Manhattan's Soho neighborhood, a place they felt was safe. But that day, Etan never made it to school. His disappearance would soon become one of the most haunting missing child cases in US history. Etan was excited about walking to the bus stop just 2 blocks away, wearing his blue jacket, his favorite sneakers, and a cap. He left the apartment around his parents, Stan and Julie Patz, were used to him walking around the neighborhood with them. But that Friday was different. He was going to go alone. His mom watched from the window as he left. She assumed he got on the bus, but when Etan didn't come home after school, panic set in. Julie called the school only to find out that Etan had never arrived. Immediately, she contacted the police. They began searching the neighborhood, but there was no sign of the boy. His father, Stan, a professional photographer, distributed pictures of his son everywhere. Flyers with Etan's face were plastered all over the city. The community, too, rallied around them. But as days passed, there were no clues. Etan's disappearance sparked a massive media frenzy. His case was among the first involving a missing child to be covered on a national scale.
Parents changed everything.
And Etan's face became widely recognizable. His disappearance led to the development of programs like Kids on the Milk Cartons, where missing children's faces were printed on milk cartons, and the creation of the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children. By 1983, President Ronald Reagan declared May 25th, the day Etan disappeared, as National Missing Children's Day. For years, despite hundreds of tips and leads, Etan's case went cold. The Patz family never gave up hope, keeping his memory alive and pushing for justice. But it wasn't until decades later, in 2012, that the case saw a major break. A man named Pedro Hernandez, who had been working in a bodega near Etan's bus stop, confessed to strangling the boy. Hernandez had a history of mental illness, and his confession was shaky. There was no physical evidence linking him to the crime. But in 2017, he was convicted of Etan's murder and sentenced to life in prison. Despite the conviction, some still question what really happened that day. Etan Patz's story, tragic and unsolved for so long, changed the way the US approached missing children cases. To this day, Etan's legacy lives on. His case showed just how vulnerable children could be, even in seemingly safe environments, and how determined a community can be in seeking justice for the innocent.